Good morning, students. Today we are going to study what is exactly steam nozzles. This is class 1, module 5. So, what are the contents? It will be there in this steam nozzle. So, the first content will be flow of steam through the nozzle. How exactly the flow of steam through the nozzle will takes place. Then, shape of the nozzle. We are going to study what are the different shapes of nozzle. Then, what is the effect of friction in the nozzle? Then what is critical pressure ratio? Then what is supersaturated flow? So the expected questions will be in this chapter will be one theory and one derivation he may ask. So one theory he may ask what is the shape of the nozzle, define nozzle, what are the shapes of the nozzle, or what is the effect of friction on the nozzle. And the derivation he may ask what is the flow of velocity exit nozzle he may ask. Then what is critical pressure ratio he may ask. Okay. Then what is nozzle? Nozzle is a duct by flowing through which the velocity of a fluid increases. You can see velocity of the fluid goes on increases at the expense of pressure drop. So if the fluid is steam, then the nozzle is called as a steam nozzle. So if I am using steam, then it is called as a steam nozzle. Okay. Then the flow of steam through the nozzle may be taken as adiabatic expansion. So it is an adiabatic expansion. Adiabatic, you know what is adiabatic? Neither heat flows into the system, neither heat exit out of the system. Okay, or it is an enclosed one. Then the process, it is an expansion process. Okay, adiabatic expansion. So the steam possesses very high velocity at the end of expansion, and the enthalpy decreases as expansion occurs. So enthalpy goes on decreases as expansion occurs. So the major function of nozzle is to produce a steam jet, okay, with high velocity to drive a turbine, especially where exactly we are using steam nozzle. So in case of steam turbines, we are using nozzles, okay. So where exactly high velocity jet of steam impinges on the blades or impinges on the turbines. So friction exists between steam and the sides of the nozzle. Okay, so heat is produced as a result of resistance to the flow. So the phenomena of supersaturation. What is the supersaturation? I'll talk in coming slides. So the phenomena of supersaturation occurs in the steam flow through the nozzle. So the phenomena, what exactly, when the fluid or when the steam impinges on the blades, at that section there is one phenomena occurs that is called as supersaturation phenomena. Okay, so this is because of time lag. How exactly why this supersaturation occurs? Because of time lag in the condensation of the steam during the expansion. Okay, I'll talk about what is this supersaturation, everything. Okay, so this is brief definition of steam nozzle. Then the area of such duct having minimum cross section is known as a throat. Okay, so if I say what is exactly nozzle, these are the different types of nozzle. Okay, one is convergent nozzle, one is divergent nozzle, one is convergent divergent nozzle. If you see convergent nozzle, okay, so this is the shape of convergent nozzle. Okay, so only it will be like convergent. Then exit, it is called as a throat. Fine. Then this is called as something about divergent nozzle. So entrance will be the throat, and it is called as a divergent nozzle. Okay. Then this is called as convergent divergent nozzle. Okay, you can see the different parts. So this region is called as convergent region, and this is called as throat section. Okay, you can see here this is called as throat section, and remaining thing will be it is divergent section or at the exit. So this is the brief shape of or the types of nozzle, how exactly the shape of nozzles will be provided. Fine. So let us talk about what is exactly this convergent nozzle it says. Okay. So in convergent nozzle, the cross-sectional area decreases, okay, continuously from its entrance to exit. Okay. So it is used in case of where exactly back pressure is equal to or greater than the critical pressure ratio. What is exactly back pressure? I'll talk about in coming slides. Okay. So this is where exactly cross-sectional area goes on decreases from entrance to exit. So this is called as divergent nozzle. The cross-sectional area of divergent nozzle increases continuously from its entrance to exit. Okay. So it is used where exactly back pressure is less than the critical pressure ratio. And this is called as convergent divergent nozzle. So in this condition, cross-section area first decreases from entrance to the throat, then increases from throat to exit. This case is used in where exactly back pressure is less than the critical pressure. Okay. So present application we are using in like the steam turbines. Okay. Now, what is supersaturated flow? Otherwise, it is called as metastable flow in nozzles. Now, you can see here. Now, as the steam expands in the nozzle, the pressure and temperature in it drops. This concept we know. Okay, and it is likely that the steam starts condensing when it strikes the saturation line. What is the saturation line? If you see, like this is the saturation line, the black color line, continuous line, that is called as saturation line. Beyond that, it is called as upper portion. It is called as superheated steam. Okay, below that it is called as wet steam will be there. So three regions will be there. Already we have studied in pure substance in basic thermodynamics. Okay, the saturation curve where exactly the steam will be like the superheated steam. Okay, then below this it will be wet steam. Okay, so this is called a saturation line. So what exactly talks about super saturated flow? Now, as the steam starts condensing, when steam start condensing, when it the process of expansion or the pressure and temperature drop, at that time the steam starts condensing. Okay, so what happens, but this is not always the situation, but always this doesn't happen. Okay, so due to high velocity, the time up to which the steam resides in the nozzle is small. This is very important, that there may be not sufficient time to needed heat transfer. Okay, and the formation of liquid droplets due to condensation. As a result, the condensation steam is delayed for a while. So you can see the figure where P1 is the highest pressure. Okay, so as the steam enters into the nozzle, okay, so what happens? High velocity, oh sorry, high pressure enters. When there is a high pressure, what happens? At the entrance, the pressure will be, when there is a high pressure will be there, velocity will be low. That high pressure and the low velocity enters at the throat. At the throat, what happens? Pressure drops, pressure decreases. Okay. Then what happens? Velocity gets increases. That is what the concept behind this nozzle. So when P1 is the high pressure, when the pressure enters through the nozzle, the pressure will be very high. So what happens at the throat section? Pressure drops. So from P1 curve to up to P2 curve, the pressure drops. Fine. So 1 to 2 indicates the pressure falls from point 1 to point 2 because from entrance there will be high pressure. Then at the throat or the steam expands. What happens? Pressure drops. That is what the figure it indicates from P1 to P2, the pressure drops. You can see the arrow mark also. So 1 to 2 indicates pressure falls from P1 to P2. So when the pressure falls from P1 to P2, okay, what happens at that time? There may be not sufficient time for needed heat transfer. There may be not much time will be there. So what happens? Formation of liquids due to condensation will be taking place. As a result, what happens? Condensation steam is delayed for a while. This phenomena is known as what? Supersaturation, and the steam that remains in the wet region without holding any liquid is known as supersaturated steam. Got it? So whatever the steam that is below the line, you can see the dotted line, below the line, it is called as supersaturated steam. Okay. Then the locus of the points where condensation occurs regardless of the initial temperature and pressure at the entrance of the nozzle is known as, this is called as something about a Wilson line. What is this Wilson line? So supersaturated liquid line, okay, when the pressure drops, okay, condensation occurs, okay, it will be below the saturation line. So that line is nothing but, the Wilson line indicates it is a wet steam. Okay, so the Wilson line generally lies between 4 or 5% moisture occurs in the saturation region on HS diagram. Okay, in this case of steam, this often takes place 4% moisture line. Okay, so normally the moisture will be 4 to 5% of moisture will be there. This is the brief introduction about the supersaturation, okay, concept. Fine. So this is an enthalpy and entropy diagram. Okay, there is a saturation curve. So from P1 to P2, the pressure drops. So when the pressure drops, automatically what happens? The steam gets condensed here. So when the steam gets condensed, that phenomena is called as supersaturated steam. Okay. So this is what exactly the flow of steam inside the nozzle. There is a concept called a supersaturation concept will takes place. Fine. Then, what is effects of supersaturation? What are its effects? The following are the effects of supersaturation in the nozzle. Okay. So, the temperature at which the steam becomes supersaturated will be less than the saturation temperature that we know. We have seen from HS diagram. Okay. There is saturation temperature will be always it will be less than the, sorry, always it will be greater than the supersaturated line. Okay, corresponding to that pressure, therefore supersaturated steam will have the density more, okay, than that of equilibrium condition, which results in the increase in the mass of steam discharged. Okay, it will increase the mass of steam discharged. Okay, supersaturation causes the specific volume and entropy of the steam to increase. Okay, this is very important. Specific volume gets increased and entropy of the steam gets increased. Supersaturation reduces the heat drop. Okay, thus the exit velocity of steam is reduced. Okay, supersaturation increases the dryness fraction of the steam. These are the effects of supersaturation. One, it will increase the mass of steam discharged. Okay, then it will increase the specific volume and specific what entropy of the steam. Then it will reduce the heat drop. Ultimately, what happens if I reduce the heat drop? Exit velocity of the steam is reduced. Then it will increase the dryness fraction of the steam. Okay, fine. Then what are the effects of friction on the nozzles? What is, how exactly the friction it will affect in the nozzles? Okay, so friction, entropy is increased. Okay, the energy available decreases. Okay, because of resistance. Okay, first one, entropy is increased, energy available decreases. Okay, then velocity of flow at the throat get decreased. Okay, because sudden pressure drops occurs. Okay, so velocity of flow at the throat gets decreased. then volume of flow steam is decreased. Whatever the flowing volume of flowing steam is there, it gets decreased because of resistance, because of friction. Okay. So throat area increased, throat area required to discharge a given mass of steam is increased. Okay. So whatever throat area required, because mass of steam means what? Because so almost all it gets try to gets the steam gets to condense. So it will start condensing. So at that time, as I have discussed in previous slide, okay, whatever the supersaturated steam will have the density more, okay, than that of equilibrium condition, which results in the increase in the mass of steam discharge. Supersaturated steam will have high density. So automatically what happens? The mass of steam is increased at the discharge of the throat area. Okay. These are the effects of the nozzles. Fine. Then, as we know, we have studied in fluid mechanics also. Okay. So the all this the energy, whatever the energy that is taking place, or whatever the flow that is taking place, it is called as one concept called as steady flow energy equation. Okay. Otherwise, it depends upon the continuity equation. Fine. So what exactly this continuity equation? Already you know, continuity equation is m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. Okay, where m denotes the mass flow rate, v is the specific volume of the steam. Okay, a is the area of cross section, and c is the velocity of the steam. Okay, so for a steady flow of steam through a certain apparatus, okay, principle of conservation of energy states that we know that principle of energy conservation already we know. Okay, okay, that is H1. Okay, energy. What is principle of conservation of energy? Energy at the inlet will be equal to energy at the outlet. Okay, so energy at the entrance will be equal to energy at the exit. Okay, so what are the different energies that will be taking place? One is H1, H2. Those are enthalpies will be taking enthalpy. What is enthalpy? H is equal to U plus PV. It is the sum of the internal energy U, and it is a product of pressure into volume. That is what the definition of what? Enthalpy. So product of, sum of the internal energy plus the product of pressure into volume denotes the enthalpy. So H1, H2 will be taking place, internal energy will be taking place, pressure will be taking place. Okay, then the velocity will be taking place. Okay, or the volume will be taking place. Okay, so second one talks about C1 square by 2. C1 square, it indicates it is velocity of steam. So in fluid mechanics, we are denoting as V1 square. So V1 square also we can take it, or C1 square also we can take it. Okay. So H1 plus C1 square by 2 or V1 square by 2 plus GZ1. There is one reference datum will be there. Gravity will be there. Okay. G indicates gravity, and Z1 indicates the datum. Okay. At what height the device is kept, plus Q. Q indicates it is the heat. Okay, heat energy, that is Q will be the heat. Okay, because heat exchange will be taking place, because it is a steam. Okay, heat will be taking place. Then H2 plus V2 square. V2 is nothing but exit velocity, or C2 is nothing but exit velocity, by 2 plus ZZ2 plus, that is W. We are getting work as a output. So always steady flow energy equation for certain apparatus, it is based upon principle of conservation of energy. That is, energy at the inlet will be equal to energy at the outlet. Fine. So for a nozzle, okay, changes or potential energies are negligible. Okay, changes whatever in a nozzle, okay, potential energies are negligible. Okay, so what happens? Work is equal to 0 and Q is equal to 0. So therefore, H1 plus, okay, C1 square by 2 is equal to H2 plus, okay, C2 square by 2 or V2 square by 2. So which is the expression for steady flow energy equation for a nozzle. Fine. So this is what the steady flow energy equation, okay, through a certain section of a nozzle. Okay. So next class we'll discuss about, okay, simple derivation about the velocity at the exit. Okay. So for a nozzle, so if I see a nozzle, okay, so for a nozzle there is entrance and there is exit will be there. Okay, so V1 is the velocity at the entrance and V2 is the velocity at the exit. So we are going to find what is velocity at the exit of the nozzle. So we have to find certain relations, that is Vt is equal to, that is already you have studied in fluid mechanics. Okay, so velocity of the exit of the nozzle Vt is equal to 44.72 root of like GH you are writing. Okay, so that derivation, so for 3 marks or like for 4 marks he may give, that is one derivation. Then another derivation will be what is exactly that critical pressure ratio. Okay, so critical pressure, what is critical pressure ratio? So like what is that pressure ratio? So already we have talked about pressure ratio in previous modules also. Okay, then if P1 is the pressure and P2 is the pressure, what is pressure ratio? Either it is like P1 by P2 or P2 by P1. So P2 by P1 is equal to what exactly the relations we are going to find. So that represents the critical pressure ratio. Okay. So what is the maximum pressure? Okay. So that ratio we need to find. So that we are going to discuss in next class. Okay. So thank you students for your attention. So today's class, okay, I think the concept is clear. So today we have discussed about like what is uh, definition of steam, definition of nozzle. Then what is the shapes of nozzle or what are the types of nozzle. Then we have studied the enthalpy and entropy diagram. So how exactly the pressure drop will takes place. Then we have learned about what is exactly the concept behind the super like saturation. Okay, what do you mean by super saturation? What is mean by superheated steam? Then what is like saturation line? Okay, so we have seen by enthalpy and entropy diagram. Then we have studied what is the effect of friction on nozzles. Okay, then we have seen what is the effects of the pressure on like what is super saturation flow. Okay, then we have discussed about what is the continuity equation, what is steady flow energy equation for a nozzle. Okay, thank you for your attention.